Hello and welcome to Vampyr. Still need to find this woman and speak with her because she has some amazing information, I assume. And she's healthy.
Hello again, Jonathan. To what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
Sorry to disturb you again, but could you spare me a few minutes?
Of course, my dear. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Can I kill you? No. She doesn't have a kill or heal button.
Do you think we shall ever see better days? Or at least, better nights?
I know not, Jonathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
Will you tell me your story one day, Lady Asprey?
One of them, perhaps. I have had so many lives, Jonathan. Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while. Travel around Europe, you and I.
Traveling is always so complicated for us poor creatures of the night. But yes, I would be glad to travel the world with you, my dear.
I still think you're a horrible person and not very interesting, bland as hell.
Concerning your investigation,
Yes?
are you truly seeking to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes. I am conducting some research of my own.
Do you know if you feed vampire ghosts your blood as a vampire icon, you can actually turn them into icons? That's a thing I read somewhere in this game. So, why are we fighting those guys, not just turning them into a little bit more humane vampires?
Do you know if the epidemic has affected many people in the West End?
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days. But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Well, from her diary I gathered that you made her this way.
Goodbye, Elizabeth.
And I bet she's not your true daughter. Because you're supposed to be ancient. In fact, how ancient are you? I have figured that out. You did mention a guy called William Marshall. I don't know who that is. Unless it's a William I actually know from history, but there have been so many of those I can't be mistaken. Okay. Six citizens can be healed with opportunity restraint. A healthy citizen will help contribute to a rise of the health. Okay. You do insist me killing you first, don't you? Hey, remember the first guy we met? How many it was? Oh, come on. You should have... You can break benches, but you can't go through a trash can. What the hell's wrong with you, game? Oh, because it was a loot box. That's stupid as well.
Are you from Ascalon? I don't care.
If you don't care, then why do you ask? Yeah, thanks for the obstruction there. This guy's tough.
You're feeble.
Okay.
Watch yourself. Shit, that leech is fast.
A lead plate. Interesting.
It ain't human. Kill it. Remember your lives. Bastard. Lord walks with me.
Sure. I need a better weapon. This is simply not gonna cut it. A rogue's cow. Ah, this is Whitechapel. Okay. The situation here is serious for some reason. Your health regenerates slowly over time. I don't think I care that much. Definitely been here before. Okay, where do you lead? Yeah, exactly where I thought you would. Okay, let's see if I can upgrade some stuff. For example, my revolver. And my pickaxe, we don't have a good handle part. Alright, rat blood is not as potent and tasty as a human source, but it will partially refill your blood bar. Yeah, it might. So we're going to the Escalon Club. Let's help you find that cure for blindness thing.
It's locked, all right.
Didn't you say that I have the key? Or did you lie about that? A screw and a grace. Good. Keep out. You keep out. I was invited here.
It's locked.
Okay, let's go talk to Dr. Swansea. Apparently he's the only one who's actually making sense now.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christine...
Okay, there is nothing here though. Still need to upgrade my weapon. That's essential. And my steak. Here you are.
Hello, Jonathan. Back from the city already? How is the situation over there?
Tense, to say the least.
I'm sure every obstacle will cede to your relentless determination. In the meantime, can I be of any help?
What can you tell me about the Great Hunt?
A sad story, my dear friend. Tragic, in fact. The Brotherhood was betrayed by some of its most trusted members.
Tell me about the betrayal.
The founders of the Guard of Priwen stole precious and unique documents and reports from the Brotherhood's library when they left. They used them to identify and locate their next targets.
Why was it a tragedy?
Not only did the Guard of Priwen hunt down and kill most ancient vampires of England, they also destroyed or confiscated their possessions. Priceless knowledge was lost in just a few nights.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
Oh, the legendary founder of the Ascalon Club. I'm afraid I cannot help you with that, Jonathan.
Are you afraid of him? Is he that dangerous?
No, but since most ancient vampires were killed or fled England during the Great Hunt of 1850, he may be the oldest British vampire. A myth in the flesh, so to speak.
Yeah, and Caligo has Hercules' sword. I don't believe that.
So you do know him?
All the Brotherhood knows about him is highly confidential. He is dangerously intimate with the royal family and Britain's inner circles.
Fine.
Did you know that Lady Ashbury is an artist? And rather a good one?
Well, actually, yes. I attended an exhibition of her paintings before the war. Beautiful landscapes and stunning portraits. I wish I had purchased one.
Perhaps we could go to her next exhibition, you and I.
What a beautiful idea, Jonathan. Did you know she told me once she had been a model for famous painters? But she never told me which ones.
Okay.
I shall return later. Thank you, Edgar.
Oh, she has an eternity to hone her skills, so... Okay, there are some events there. Need to go and check it out. And one over here as well. Historic gate.
This is
Whoa!
my territory.
Sure.
Don't you know better?
I was in a mid-teleport. Seriously? He survived?
This is my territory. Don't you know better? This is my territory.
You know, you keep giving me this useless part now, and I do call it useless because I have so many of it. Yeah, I can upgrade my revolver once more, but still. keep on fighting, you know. Okay. Where am I? Ah, finally. And of course there's gonna be a dog. tiny good handle part. Don't have those. There's one of you. No, Paxton. Okay.
Doesn't like fire, does it? Watch it! It's a killer!
Giselle's dagger. Let's take a look at that thing. Blood absorption 15, 18. Is that an offhand weapon? Yes. Cool. A weapon that's kind of different than what we have. Not as useful though.
I'll kill you!
Load it, Paxton. So Giselle became a vampire. Okay, I'm not gonna accept this because obviously I teleported away. But the game did not read that command, so... Let's take a look at this one then. It's barricaded, I can't teleport up there. Oh! Okay, can't go there as well. Sure. How do I get in there?
What on earth happened here?
Now, make no mistake, I knew this was gonna happen if I spared his life. Why didn't you actually give me your blood? We've established that that actually helps. We established it before we met him. Sean's cross. You are pathetic, Sean. I'm just surprised that the game wasn't smart enough to give me the option to actually fit in my blood. It's gonna be a critic in the end, he might bet. More events. Okay, one here and one over here. So let's kill Paxton, the Elder. I assume it's the Elder. I don't actually remember.
Best stay back, sir.
Wrong target, dude. Did I lie to you? I don't remember. That's the second time she kills me. For nonsense reasons. Okay.
This is no place for a gentleman!
Yes, attack the crate. It's obviously the most dangerous opponent in the... Okay, where to next? Okay. Don't know where you came from. But I'm gonna drain you. I'm gonna drain you a lot. Okay, I'm satisfied. Hey Rufus, I see that you're not a horrible abomination. So it was the younger one. Again, I think so. Are you missing? See, there's an event right in front of me.
Drink! Drink! Drink!
Almost escaped you there. Almost. Oh, at least Tom is fine. I like Tom. You I have no qualms about killing. Dason Dunley. I can't remember you. How did you become a werewolf? Wait. You know, if a vampire can turn into a werewolf, this game will just become so much more awesome. I mean, vampires turning into werewolves. Of course, that reminds me of the Legacy of Kain. Blood Omen. The best Legacy of Kain game ever. Alright. There is a merchant here. And a hideout. No, that's a hideout, not a merchant.
The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics, everyone's throwing the blame.
Listen to what the idiot had to say first.
Careful not to shoot someone important. You can start the world war again.
I cannot enter.
Sure you can't. Oh, and you just appeared up? That box doesn't exist. Don't be silly. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
It's locked, all right.
Okay. But you can still teleport. My bullets are full, so I can shoot myself 12 times. 18 times if I get to reload. No, that's 6 times actually if I get to reload. It's gonna be more. Okay.
There's a no match for me. Bleeding. You from Ascalon? I don't care. You're pathetic. Praise mine.
You should say that. I'm thirsty. Let's share a drink.
This is my territory. You're feeble.
This should be your end. You know, just ignore them. Quarantine contagious disease.
It's locked.
Yeah, of course it's locked. Why wouldn't it be?
Watch yourselves! There's one of them over there!
Oh, you're good.
Give me your...
Come on, you bloody leech. Let's see how you die. Didn't want to use this, but you forced my hand here. Ah, tiny good handle part. Nice. We really
That was
have
the
to
vampire I saw earlier. This war takes no prisoners.
Okay. Ah, finally.
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
This is gonna be a new chase scene, like last time. We'll see.
How dare you interfere with my...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stupid newborn! Don't you know better?
good kill.
There's one of them! See them fancy clothes? This one's a top! He's dead!
Okay, where is he?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reid, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
Obviously. Are you sick? No.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care.
I found a necklace. The heresy of the pure blood. Pure blood. We know the expression. You heard it in foul mouth of the heretics, and the foreign barbarians used it sometimes ourselves, but do we really know what it means? A vampire born from the immortal belly. What a disgusting idea. How would such a creature find its place amongst the living? What would be its purpose? Our clan is clear, gentlemen. Ascalon is here to protect the Empire and all its citizens. We are the protectors and the shepherds, even when our sometimes sacrifice a sheep for our sustenance. Whoever will be found guilty of succumbing to the desire of bleeding immortal child shall be eradicated. Wow. Okay, that's a major flaw. Vampires shouldn't be able to breed. Hello, stranger.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan, I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reid expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reid is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reid was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reid myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reid is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
The Great War is still raging on, is it not? You can't have occupied Romania and sunny France. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir. But your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Thank you, Alfred.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that suits your mother also.
Okay, good.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please...
I can kill my butler. You know, it'd be great if I actually turn him into a vampire. Okay, my mother is upstairs, so let's go talk to her. Maybe we can find something else about myself. Yes, the silverware, nice. Reid Mason, 8th of March, 1908. My dear Avery, As I already told you several days ago, I may be forced to leave England, if only for a few months, while I am away, and until my son comes back to London, I want you to take the best care of our house. I already made the entire necessary arrangements to have your wages increased and paid as long as you work. You promised me you'd protect my dear wife, and save her from the best of your ability. For that I thank you, from the bottom of my heart. If I am ever to return, you are the only man I fully trust. Believe me, your most effective friend, Aubrey Reid. That's something we could have learned from the letter or by the conversation we just had with the guy.
Yes, Jonathan. Spending next summer in France. Absolutely.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Tell me, Mother, how are you? All alone in this big house with only Avery to take care of you.
I'm sad most of the time. Sad that you have left me here alone. Sad that you don't tell me when you come or go.
I'm so sorry, Mother. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was coming home. I was home. London, the Thames, and then it happened.
What happened, Johnny?
I was attacked, Mother. And I've not been the same since.
The important thing is that you finally returned home. I was worried, you know. You were the last member of the family of whom I had no news. Even Mary comes more often than you.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Do you think Avery is right? Do you think I should take better care of you?
I don't blame you, but you abandoned me, son. A mother should not survive her children. It's unbearable to know you're not here anymore.
I know I have failed you since I returned. I even watched you bury Mary from a distance. From now on, I will protect you. You have my word.
You don't have to apologize to me, Johnny. Do you think I did not notice how much you have changed?
Have I changed that much, Mother? Am I still your son?
You are still, and you'll always be. Despite your pale skin, your bloody eyes, and that echoing sadness in your voice.
Yes, again, a magnificent accent once you become a vampire.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject, and My mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
She's alarmingly accepting of vampires, by the way.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
How do I get there? Oh, come on, move, game.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Die, Vermin! This was mine! Oh, mine, Vermin! Kill the Vermin!
What was that?
Try for this!
Okay, how do I get up there? Oh god. Okay. Can I get inside? No.
This is not a place for you, sir.
Freshly returned from the war too.
Yeah, I lost that opportunity, unfortunately. Thanks for that game.
It's locked, all right.
Oh, shut up. Oh, man.
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reid.
Welcome, Dr. Reid. Welcome to my humble shop.
So, what do you sell?
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Nice. I could use those.
Good evening.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's lone gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
I'm afraid the newspapers are seriously underestimating the situation. Things are critical, believe me.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
No.
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
Yeah, creeps.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
I like this guy. He's a complete imbecile, but you know, a charming one.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
Women die too in this war.
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reid. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte.
Yes, it's a big mystery how we will recognize a vampire with its rotting flesh, bloodshot eyes, and no pulse.
Your mother has refused to turn you into a vampire. Tell me more about it.
Each time we argue, Mother expresses the same fear. She wants me to remain alive and full of joy, rather than become melancholy and immortal. She claims you can't have one without the other. It's pure selfishness.
I can actually kill her if I want.
Your mother has walked this earth for much longer than you or I. She is wise, and we should not ignore her advice when we disagree with it.
But why shouldn't I be allowed to forge my own experience? There can't be only one righteous way to deal with eternity.
It's your mother's choice. As daughters and sons, we have to accept the decisions our parents make for us despite our own wishes.
I love my mother, and have accepted everything from her. Even that she named me Charlotte, when it was not my original name.
Does it bother you?
No. Whoever I was when I was born, I am now Charlotte Ashbury. It hurts as much as it makes me proud to know that's the name my mother will read on my tombstone.
Nice.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reid?
No. My skin is incredibly pale. In fact, I think I'm the whitest person alive.
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
Sure.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
I don't get it.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
21? Sheesh, I don't know.
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
Well, it's England. People there are dorks. Most of them. The Scottish are alright.
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reid. And please, don't tell my mother.
Jolly-ho, will go. I'll find your friend.
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reid? Or you?
Perhaps it's wise for a mortal never to totally trust a vampire. Your mother herself told me that we Ekon are creatures of deception. Maybe it's because we seem so... alive.
That may be true for a naive girl, but I have the best teacher when it comes to getting rid of an insistent immortal.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reid.
Why? Because I was just born? Reborn?
Why do you still hope to become a vampire in spite of your mother's refusal?
It's the immortal aspect of vampires that interests me. The world won't improve unless women take charge. I'm convinced of that.
You're obviously a clever woman with a good education and a brilliant future. But have you thought about the price you'd have to pay? The loneliness, the necessary masquerade.
Is it not true of every high position? To change this world and make it a better place, one needs time on one's side.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How is it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Tell me, Charlotte, how do you plan to achieve eternal life, since you've obviously given it a lot of thought?
I won't give up. You have no idea how determined I am, sir. I may contract a deadly disease. I may throw myself under a carriage, just to be saved by her sweet kiss.
That's a disturbing answer, young lady. And the worst part of it is, I know you speak the truth.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
Be careful what you wish for, young lady. I could gaze at you right now and then take you to a shady corner and have my way with you. And leave your carcass to the rats.
You wouldn't dare. My mother would know. She'd never forgive you.
How could she suspect me? Do you know how many vampires are lurking in the city tonight as we speak? Vampires with a worse sense of humor than mine.
Oh, my God. For one second I thought you actually... Excellent, Dr. Reid. Very convincing.
Yeah. That was actually amazing. Piece of dialogue on his part.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
So we have 2 quests. There are other people I need to visit and speak to. Well, I do believe I'm going to end this episode here. So, for everyone who joined me, thank you very much, and I'm gonna see you all next time. Goodbye.